On the precipitous mountain slopes covered in eternal white snow, more than 30,000 soldiers of the expeditionary army, struggling in a fierce snowstorm never seen before. The wind howls through narrow rock crevices like the roar of wild beasts, whipping sharp ice crystals directly into naked flesh. Of the soldiers coming from the warm lands, the marching formation stretches over 5 miles, winding like a giant snake gasping for breath, exhausted from hunger, cold, and lack of oxygen. The giant war beasts trudge silently. Their thick skin cannot stop the bone-chilling cold. Occasionally one collapses into the deep abyss, dragging along cargo crates and the beast handlers. Suddenly, urgent warning signals ring out. Deep, dull horn sounds tear through the thick fog, signaling a danger even more terrifying than nature. At the single narrow gateway leading down to the valley, 50,000 defenders of the Northern Empire deployed. They stand there, silent and solid as stone statues, blocking the only survival route of the invading army. Empire troops, equipped with thick fur coats, bronze armor, reflecting the cold light of the highlands. The vanguard is heavy infantry with large shields, forming a solid steel wall blocking the way. Behind them, a forest of long spears standing upright, ready to lower to pierce anyone. Slingers and archers occupying high strategic points, creating a deadly pincer threatening both flanks. Expedition generals order to stop, deploy battle formation in the narrow space. Metal clashing, shouting mixed with howling wind. Heavy infantry hurriedly tightening shield straps, trying to warm hands numb from cold. Turning back is certain death in the blizzard. The only path to life lies straight ahead. 2 massive armies growling, facing each other. The smell of iron, sweat, and fear begins to spread. On the towering rocky peaks surrounding the valley, the attack signal begins with deep, dull horn sounds, echoing between the 4 surrounding cliff walls. Thousands of slingers spinning leather slings overhead, creating a terrifying whistling sound like a broken beehive. The gray sky, obscured by a rain of boulders. The stones plummet with terrifying acceleration, smashing straight into the huddled expeditionary formation. Wooden shields already cracked by frost, now shattering under the destructive force of the stone rain, causing the soldiers behind to collapse. Fresh blood immediately stains the white snow red. The invading army can only raise shields and endure. Engineer squads use picks and shovels to dig frozen ground, erecting high mounds and planting sharp stakes before the shields. The valley entrance transforms into a solid semicircular fortress. Over 3,000 sharpshooters release strings simultaneously. The arrows fly in a rainbow trajectory, plunging into gaps in the opponent's armor. A group of light cavalry attempts to counterattack up the slope. The slippery ice layer becomes a deadly trap. War horses lose momentum, slip, and tumble down the abyss, dragging riders crushed under the weight. Commanders understand standing still means being destroyed. Shouts ordering formation realignment ring out, urging heavy infantry to prepare for a suicidal charge. Aiming straight at the steel shield wall ahead, unable to continue standing still under the rain of arrows and stones. The horns signaling the charge roars with fury and desperation. Over 8,000 heavy infantry, the most elite warriors remaining, simultaneously roaring the battle cry. Rushing forward like a black flood, the thundering footsteps of thousands shake the frozen ground. The first collision sounds harsh like thunder, when thousands of wooden shields smash into the bronze shield wall. The impact is so strong it causes snow on cliffs to avalanche. The battlefield instantly turns into a giant meat grinder. The long spears of the Empire troops lower in unison, creating a bristling mobile forest of spikes. Sharp spear points pierce through shield gaps, pinning the vanguard soldiers together. Fresh blood sprays gushing, steaming profusely, staining a vast area of snow red in patches. The rear ranks trample on the bodies of fallen comrades. They use battle axes and short swords to chop wooden spear shafts, trying to tear a hole in the defensive wall. Metal screeches as swords slash against armor. Large shields locked together, forming a fish-scale formation. Short but devastating thrusts are continuously launched. Dead and wounded bodies pile up waist-high, forming a slippery dike of flesh and bone, while the ground in the valley is shaking. Another danger is silently triggered from above. A bright red command flag waves from the watchtower. Hundreds of Empire engineers act simultaneously, levering 1,000-pound boulders disguised under snow. A thunderous rumble descends from the sky. Giant boulders roll down with terrifying speed, crashing straight into the crowded expeditionary army. Wooden shields, no matter how thick, shatter like eggs. Iron armor is crushed flat into flesh and bone. Each boulder leaves a long, bloody trail and bodies. The heavy infantry formation is torn into ragged patches. Panic erupts violently. They realize they are trapped in a death trap. Spears ahead, rocks above, abyss behind. Taking advantage of the broken formation, archers rain arrows, aiming precisely at the exposed gaps. Armor-piercing arrows whistle down, pinning soldiers who are bewilderedly trying to flee. Miserable screams echo throughout the canyon. The expedition's attack momentum is completely broken. The vanguard is now just huddled remnant groups, trying to use comrades' bodies as shields. Generals forced to order a temporary retreat. Piles of bodies stacked high, blocking the view, turning the road into a slimy swamp of flesh and blood. Facing the risk of total army annihilation at the gateway, the generals decide to play their final trump card. 30 giant war beasts trudge silently forward. Southern wild species, 5 times the size of a bull. Entire body encased in leather and bronze armor 2 inches thick. The mahouts drive iron hooks hard behind the beast's ears, triggering the frenzy of the giant herd. Roars shaking the very cliffs. The war beasts charge, building momentum on the snow. Thousands of pounds of weight create a real earthquake. The defenders' rain of arrows falls ineffectively. Arrows stick loosely into the rough skin. They ram corpse piles and obstacles out of the way, crashing straight into the Empire's shield wall. The collision creates a scene of devastating destruction. The solid steel shield wall shatters like dry pottery. Warriors tossed into the air by tusks, or crushed flat under massive feet. The fish-scale formation torn into giant gaps. The war beasts sweep deep into the formation center. Each headshake sweeps away 5 or 6 soldiers, turning them into red demons from hell. Panic spreads. Screams drown out commands. Rear soldiers retreat in horror. Expedition infantry immediately turn back and surge, flooding through the gaps created by the beasts, beginning a chaotic melee inside the enemy lines. Amidst the chaos, as the vanguard is torn apart by war beasts, strange, rapid war drum beats suddenly ring out. It is the signal of the reserve force specialized in countering beasts. From both flanks, thousands of lightly armored soldiers rush out, holding burning resin torches and sealed ceramic pots. When the distance is only a few dozen yards, a thunderous shout. Volleys of ceramic pots are hurled at the beast's thick armor. Pottery shatters, thick black pitch splatters everywhere, clinging tightly to the rough skin and armor of the beasts. Immediately after, thousands of flaming torches are launched, turning the war beasts into giant living torches. The animal's instinctual fear of fire overrides training. The monsters roar miserably as fire licks their flesh. Suffocating air of burning fur and pitch causes nausea. Mad with pain, the beasts turn and run in chaos. Empire heavy infantry quickly reforms formation, planting the tails of 12-yard spears into the ground, creating a bristling hedgehog wall of spikes facing forward. Beasts charging in are pierced in belly and throat. Tragedy strikes as surviving beasts flee backwards. Infantry surging forward are betrayed by their own weapon. Giant feet frantically trample their own formation. Bones breaking and desperate cries echo to the sky. The attack formation is churned up from within. Chaotic and shattered, Empire troops start pushing back, advancing and closing the circle. Long spears rhythmically stab into the panicked remnants. While the battle at the pass turns decidedly in the Empire's favor, another unexpected event silently unfolds on the western slope. 2,000 light cavalry borne on horseback, silently creeping along a precipitous goat trail. Dozens of war horses slip and fall into the bottomless abyss, taking with them riders who silently accept death. The cavalry suddenly appears on a gentle slope. No horn signal, no cheering, only the thundering hooves signal the nightmare, forming a flash flood with terrifying speed. The flank collision is brutal and lightning fast. Slingers and archers are completely defenseless. Sharp, curved scimitars swing flashingly, cutting down rows of lightly armored ranged troops. Arms holding bows are severed and fly apart. After churning up support lines, they crash into infantry flank. The solid defensive structure is violently shaken. Pikemen, unable to maneuver against enemies from behind. Expedition cavalry maximizes agility, throwing short javelins into exposed backs. Alarm screams spread as fast as a forest fire, sowing extreme confusion in the minds of the winning side. Under the terrifying pressure from the pincer movement on both sides, the defensive system begins a chain reaction collapse like a bursting dam. Chaos from the left flank quickly spreads to the center. Horns and alarm signals ring incessantly but full of contradiction. Generals helplessly watch their hedgehog formation disintegrate in patches. Soldiers don't know which way to point their spears. Enemy infantry in front, horse hooves on the flank. Tens of thousands of expedition infantry erupt with survival instinct. Ignoring burning beasts, charging with savage screams. Heavy battle axes chop down mercilessly, chopping broken long spear shafts, slashing open bronze shields. The wall of people compressed so tight weapons cannot be drawn, then shatters completely under the weight of the all-out attack. The battlefield turns into a chaotic melting pot with no lines left. Only the most primal killing instinct reigns, rushing at each other in a bloody close-quarters massacre. Swords stab sides, daggers in necks, helmets crushed, bodies fall layer upon layer. The blizzard on the peak suddenly becomes more violent. As if heaven and earth are angry at the brutal scene, thick white mist obscures visibility to a few steps, recognizing each other by screams of strange tongues and armor color. Fresh blood freezes, forming ghastly dark red patches. Slippery to the point soldiers fall more than are struck. The collapse spreads to the very last ranks. Signal flags trampled into the snowy mud. The mighty army disperses like sea foam in a tornado. When the central defense line completely shatters, the belated retreat order becomes a death knell. Iron discipline now gives way to extreme terror. Thousands of soldiers discard weapons, stripping off heavy armor, creating a chaotic scene on the single narrow road. The narrow retreat path becomes a second trap. The panicked stream jams up, shoving each other to suffocation. Soldiers behind swing swords at comrades to clear a path, or ruthlessly trampling those who stumble. Expedition forces surge forward like a hungry wolf pack chasing prey, committing a brutal one-sided massacre. Swords slash down like harvesting rice into bare backs. The road paved with corpses, blood flowing into a frozen river. Expeditionary forces quickly seize the battlefield positions, tearing down Empire flags, throwing them into the fire. Last resistance fighters destroyed by fire and smoke. Wild cheers of the victors echo. Less than 10,000 remnants lucky enough to escape. The rest remain forever on the icy slopes. The treacherous pass has now officially fallen, opening wide the door for the army to flood into the rich lands. When the final snowstorm finally clears, leaving behind a crystal clear and chillingly cold highland sky, pale afternoon sunlight illuminates the battlefield. Deadly silence covers the valley. Only the whistling wind and sparse cawing of crows. A giant carpet woven of blood and corpses, bodies of soldiers from both sides lying tightly intertwined, large blood pools frozen into dark red ice patches, giant beast carcasses lying like burnt hills of meat. Scattered around are broken pottery shards and ash. The expeditionary army has no loud cheers of celebration. Exhaustion and silence cover the entire army. They turn over bodies searching for comrades, stripping fur coats from enemy corpses to fight the cold. Officials begin the painful task of accounting, paying the price with the lives of nearly 10,000 elite soldiers. Only a few bewildered soldiers remain beside comrades' bodies. After 2 days of rest and shallow burials, the horn sounds again, urging the army to move on. Standing on the peak, looking away from the snowy region, the vast, lush green plains spreading out invitingly, that is the reward for the insane recklessness. The army moves like a giant python slithering down the mountain, leaving behind a white graveyard marking the bloody battle. A new, bloodier storm is about to descend on the plains.